Good morning, and today we're looking at ratings or rankings. That's called Looking at the Big Picture. I'm Gary Robinson for www.horseracingaustralia.info. Okay, so for those not familiar with ratings, the idea is a form analyst tries to predict a percentage, if you like, of what each horse's chances are, and then sorts them according to their weights and recent form and all the rest of it. But we use the GTX program. That's how our ratings are derived, and they have a picture version of the ratings. So what we can see is more the rankings. So in other words, we're looking at a top-rated horse against a second-rated, against a third-rated, a fourth-rated, and so on. So if we're looking at the big picture, this is what we get. We're looking at the Sunshine Coast meeting at Caloundra on Saturday, and we're expecting what is currently a heavy track, a 9. Because of good weather, we might get it down to a soft 6 or a soft 7. Makes very little difference to our rating process. But if you have a look at this in the first race here, it's very clear that Ringo's a Rockstar is a far better chance of spending to win, and all of these others will be trailing along behind. That may not be how it ends up, but that's how our ratings process has adjusted them. So we're going forward now into Caloundra race 2, a much harder race here. You can see there are 2, 4, 6, there are 7 horses here all in the mix. So it's a lot harder race to predict the winner, because we'd say any of those would have a chance. Now the reality is that we've probably got a 70% chance of picking the winner in this particular scenario. So then it's simply a matter of what dividends are on offer. But certainly you can see that a trifecta or Camilla or something like that might be a worthwhile investment in a race like that, where there are chances more than just 1 or 2. In the third race here, we've got a fairly clear picture again, where Champagne Garden and Yamakazi are out in front. On these 2 horses, we could say, yes, it's very clear, stand out. You haven't had to do anything except look at the picture, but the idea is by putting your ratings in and stacking your horses up in order of importance, it converts the mathematics into a picture. So much easier to work out. Okay, we go to race 4. Here we've got 3 standing out from a whole bunch here. So it makes it very easy to work out and say, okay, maybe we should stand those 3 out in the trifecta from this bunch here, and maybe we only have to take those 3 in the Quinella. Depends on the prices as to whether that would be a good pay or not. But I'm looking at the early market here, and I'm seeing big prices for those first 3 horses. So it could be a worthwhile investment in those. In race 5, Egg Tart and Gallic Chieftain, right up the front here. This is the O'Shea Stakes, it's a Group 2. Then we've got Man of His Word, and as you can see, there's a huge gap from these first 2. Egg Tart has only just come back into form, so maybe it'll do something this weekend. Race 6 again, I'm sick of backing Nyetta. It just doesn't perform, but on its very best form it would be in front. Tarzan is a very good horse. First up on Saturday would be a very good chance. So, and then all of these are way back. In race 7, this is Group 2. This is the Caloundra Cup. We've got the Monstar back in business, and he's performed in much better fields than this, and he does rate that highly. The matter of whether he's up to it today is something you've got to think about, but he's certainly done well on wet tracks before, so what a great investment for a place, at least I would think. Race 8, Test the World. If you look up here, we see it's only a 6 to 1 chance, but when we look at it in a ranking situation, have a look at the gap from Test the World to the others. Had a couple of good seconds before a last start 6th. Having blinkers today might improve the performance, but if you take the first 2 or 3 out, you can see there are so many chances in the backfield there. And finally, in the very last race, the Speed Chief Handicap. You can see here, this is probably a race in which you want to take an exotic type view. Maybe put those first few together. Now the markets are going to be pretty wide on Saturday. The wet track doesn't help. There's no way it's going to be up to a good track. So you've got to take that into account. So I do wish you good luck for Saturday, and thanks for having a look at the video.